Scott Wheeler tweeted out a list yesterday of the following players on Team Canada's long list for consideration for the Olympics. The list includes Cole Perfetti, Owen Power, Mason McTavish, Kent Johnston, Eric Stahl, Cody Franzen, Dev Dubnyk, Peyton Krebs,
Yeah, I recognize
Gooley.
almost all those names, which is not something I expected.
By the way, I'm so happy that Josh Hosang's name is on that list.
Absolutely.
That makes me really happy.
Hosang, Michael Delzato, Devon Levy, Brendan Leipzig, Jake Virtanen. Now, those last two names I just mentioned caused a storm on
A what?
in the hockey world. There was a storm surge,
And rightfully so.
and rightfully so.
They just don't need to be there.
Right.
That's why I don't think they'll be there.
Yeah.
I think if you're making a list, you have to include everybody that can play hockey at that level. And then you go cross out for whatever reason you want.
Yeah, I suppose. Nah. I was going to say, I suppose I could understand them being on the long list because the long list is 55 players long.
Mhm.
So now you're making a 55 player list that involves no one from the NHL. Yeah, you're going to be digging pretty deep into there, but I just don't think either of those guys should be on the team.
No, they
don't
shouldn't.
think they should be
and
representing
really,
the country.
I mean, I just said it, but like you make a long list of people who can play hockey at that level.
Yeah.
And then you go immediately no and immediately no.
Yeah.
And in fact, what I would hope they would do is they'd just knock those guys off the 55 list and bring two other people on.
Right.
Well, and like if you
Like
look,
Virtanen is an absolute non-starter.
Yeah.
If you showed me like what happened with Leipzig, I think there's somebody there that if you showed an actual receipt, like I have gone to anger management, I've gone to this, whatever it was that created that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, it was a bunch of DMs. It's some pretty fucking nasty stuff.
Yeah,
like
we
there's some
covered it on the
deep-seated
show.
shit here.
Yeah, we covered it.
Then maybe you have that conversation, right? Then maybe you go, okay, and even then you go, yeah, but is he a guy that we absolutely have to have?
No.
Probably not. So even then.
He's a decent performer in the KHL this year.
Yeah.
And like those are the sort of dudes you're looking at. You're looking at top scorers in KHL. You're looking at top scorers in university. You're looking at some of the top junior guys, AHL guys who are eligible, which is interesting because so there are two guys on that list who I think are not actually eligible.
Oh.
Peyton Krebs is one who, because he's in the NHL right now. He previously wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another interesting one is if a guy is in the AHL on an NHL contract, is he allowed to go? I didn't understand that. So Krebs was that until recently. Now he's with the Buffalo Sabres with a nasty freaking assist on Alex Tuck's first as a Sabre. And I think the other guy is Jack Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
But and it's a shame about those last two names because there's some legitimately interesting names on this list.
Yeah.
Josh Hosang is a guy that Leaf fans can cheer for. Devin Levi was a spectacular goalie for Canada at the World Juniors, and he's unreal at the university level this year. Owen Power is a name they're considering, first overall pick from 2021.
I don't think Team Canada or Hockey Canada ever intended this list to get out. But
no.
It's a shame those names were written down. Well, Jake Virtanen especially. It's a shame the name was ever written down, but I don't think they ever saw, hey, somebody's going to be like, hey, you put Jake Virtanen there. Because he's not going to make the team.
The list probably...
So if the list never comes out, then this is never a conversation.
There's probably... So I skipped a step. So you're looking at the best players from university, KHL, blah, blah, blah. You're probably looking at them and going, all right, how many of the guys... or you start the list with who has played in the NHL in the last 2 years. Right? So I think Scott Wilson, who's on the list, I don't know if he's played in the last 2 years, but he's got some NHL experience. Adam Cracknell, he's got NHL experience, and he's really good at the AHL level. And, you know, at some point, you get far enough down the list, and you go, well, there's Brendan Leipzig, and there's Jake Virtanen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's probably how it happened. I don't... That's such an interesting point. I'd be curious to know how they feel about this list getting out at all. Because now we're going to look at a guy like Hosang, who has a history of contention with Hockey Canada when he didn't make He wasn't invited to World Junior Camp.
Yeah, I remember that story too. That was a big deal.
And we were like, well, geez, what's the problem here? Now, if he didn't make the team, there's added investment from people. Like if this never gets out and he doesn't make the team, people go, well, we don't know if he was ever even considered. But if he is considered and then he goes on a tear before the Olympics and it's obvious he should make the team, then at least one fan base is going to sort of get their hopes up for him. You know what I mean? I don't like that I badly wish the overwhelming conversation around this team was positive right now, if that makes sense.
Yep.
There are some names.
There are some names. And
Owen Power, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Devin Levi, that'd be awesome. Yeah, Caden Gooley, Montreal Canadiens fans get excited about that. He was another one I'm not sure.
We also, I just want to mention too, guys, we have a trade that just broke. It's relatively minor.
What are the two teams?
What is this bit?
Pittsburgh, Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So there's definitely salary retained because they love doing that with each other.
Crosby for Taves.
Ooh. Not quite.
Just say it.
Sam Lafferty.
Whoa!
Of 10 games this year.
Yeah.
For Alex Nylander.
Actually?
Oh.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not a bad trade at all.
Alex Nylander has not played since 1920, though, because he's got a knee injury.
Oh.
He had 26 points in 65 games for Chicago that year. Lafferty is actually playing. I'm wondering if Nylander's getting ready to come back, but yeah, he's not played.
I wonder if the Nylander camp facilitated this by going, get me the hell out of Chicago. Because as I understand it, it was not a great fit. No. I mean, good for the Pittsburgh Penguins for turning Mark Donk into a former first rounder. They did. Sam Lafferty is Mark Donk. He is, and I'm not even saying that as an insult. Remember, Mark Donk from Acton of Fullerman generally turns out to be a very good and useful player. I'm trying to look up Sam Lafferty's stats because I know he's like a Wilkes-Barre Penguin who, gets his shots with the Penguin. Actually, no, I should put some respect on his name. He hasn't played in the AHL since the bubble season, and it was only 6 games. Played what? He's played 94 consecutive games in the NHL.
Well, there you go.
It.
Anyway,
6 goals and 15 assists for 21 points. That is some Mark Donkiness.
I think we should wrap the show there.
No.
With just a sizzling Alex Nylander trade.